Turning to home news now, the London borough of Hackney has destroyed meat belonging to a supposedly halal butcher after it found it wasn't suitable for human consumption. An environmental health officer found mutton, which hadn't been certified as safe to eat, at the Islam Halal meat butchers in Hackney. The case highlights the wider issue of poor quality and haram meat being sold to Muslims in Britain.
It is legal, nice, he's selling, he's happy.
Dr. Yunus Tanaz is a wanted man, a hate figure for those involved in the sale of illegal meat. 3 years ago he received death threats for his work in helping prosecute illegal meat sellers, and his boss was offered £20,000 to sack him. In his local borough of Hackney, he successfully managed to ban butchers from calling their meat halal if they can't prove it.
Yeah, there is no halal there, you see? Fresh meat.
A case that went to court recently exemplifies his concern about unsound meat. Islam Halal meat butchers of Ridley Road in Hackney were found with meat unfit for human consumption. Hackney Council says it found mutton carcasses without health stamps, a legal requirement to show that they'd been slaughtered in approved premises under public health control.
In my opinion, they were unfit for human consumption because they don't bear health mark on them, and also they got slime, they are very poor, and they got offensive smell, and they are not refrigerated properly, and therefore I took the action.
We visited the premises of Islam Halal Meat on Ridley Road, but they had no comment to make. Instead, the owner, a Mr. Islam Sultan Muhammad, lunged at me off camera.
They're making all problems. Why? Listen, you.
We had to call the police in the end.
Why is this specific butcher still being allowed to operate?
No, we cannot shut down businesses because they sell unfit food, because the law does not permit us to do so, but we will remove the unfit food out of the human food chain, and we take a legal action wherever it is possible.
Dr. Tanaz says that regulation in the industry is poor. He alleges that the meat that was destroyed was originally sourced from an abattoir approved by the Halal Food Authority. I asked him for proof.
Well, this is the invoice is written approved by Halal Food Authority.
This is
this is the invoice which I have been given.
This is the invoice for the meat that was destroyed.
Yes, this is the invoice is certified halal by the Halal Food Authority. You got there the tag. It was tagged halal as well, and there is no health mark on it.
But the Halal Food Authority denies that the meat had anything to do with one of its abattoirs.
Halal Food Authority only works with slaughterhouses, those which are approved by EU, and no meat from, no carcass from those slaughterhouses, including the slaughterhouse in question, would go out of the slaughterhouse unless and until it has the marking of the slaughterhouse, which also is health marked, because this slaughterhouse is EU approved slaughterhouse.
Now, your procedures include unannounced inspections of your slaughterhouses. Have you done inspections of this particular abattoir, and were you satisfied that that met your standards?
Oh yes.
The HFA, the Halal Food Authority, say they're confident that the abattoir you've named as the source of this meat is in compliance with their standards, and they say that it is possible that the certificates could have been faked and it actually came from an illegal abattoir in order to allow it to be sold. What do you make of that?
Well, I really cannot comment on that. What I know, it is this meat was certified by the Halal Food Authority, and also the invoice which I have been given is stating the abattoir is approved by the Halal Food Authority. I cannot say, what happened, because I didn't visit the abattoir. What I visited is the butcher, and I took action not because the meat is misdescribed halal. I took the action because the meat has no health mark on it, and I got concerned about the condition of the carcasses.
Hackney is the most aggressive of London boroughs in terms of dealing with unsound meat and meat being sold as halal when it's not. But it's likely that this case is only scratching the surface. Most authorities find it hard to devote resources to tackle the problem, and a recent survey found that 90% of environmental officers believe too few resources and too few staff were assigned to them to seriously tackle the problem. And although Muslim families only account for 5% of the British population, they consume 20% of all lamb and mutton. making them an easy target for illegal meat smugglers and fraudulent butchers.
This case highlights two issues. Firstly, is halal meat actually halal? And secondly, is the meat being sold to Muslims even suitable for human consumption? All parties are agreed on one thing though, that there are people out there abusing the demand for halal meat in a lucrative, albeit unethical and illegal business. Hassan Ghani, Islam Channel News, Hackney in London.